Welcome to Tinker Club. We are back. My name is Leigh-Anne Nugent.
And I'm Micah Adler.
Welcome. All right, I'm going to share my screen. As a reminder, we are Tinker Club. This is our Tinkerer's Manifesto. I'm not going to read all of this, but right now, what Micah and I have been really digging into is that everyone is a builder and we are truly all about contribution fueling innovation. We have dug into a number of applications, a number of use cases, and we are just here to help each other, help our clients grow and advance either their applications or their businesses, but we are, or even other people who are also looking to tinker. But we're just here to learn in public and, see what we can grow and develop together. Okay, I'll kick off. Is it last week? No, 2 weeks ago, I went to TSIA's World Interact Orlando, and it was an incredible amount of information. So you can see I took so many notes on the left-hand side here, and I've added them all to my notebook LM. And my goal here was to act as if I'm a senior executive coming back into the organization and do a readout to my leadership as well as my team. I guess the goal is to one is justify the money that was spent, right? Because it's an investment to send somebody out to a conference like this. And then two, maybe incite a little bit of inspiration and motivation to move forward. But in my efforts of creating a report, what do? I squirrel and I want to learn more about NotebookLM. So here we go, reviewing and the squirreling efforts that I have. And so here you can see this is I don't even know the right nomenclature for this, but this is a project, I think. No idea.
I
What
think it's a
if
note, maybe.
it's a note itself? Again, I don't know. So here I am here. Oh, yes. Okay. So here, create a new what? Right? Like a notebook LM.
Yeah.
I guess that's what it is. So, first of all, I found it to be very cool, very intuitive. The fact that I could load up the amount of reference materials that I needed and then other ancillary ones, it's very cool. So, I thought that was very interesting. Okay, I guess it thought I wanted to really create one. And so now I have all of these. Then I'm looking, so forget the middle, like the middle is where you interact with the darn thing, which is pretty cool. But this studio thing on the right hand side, I have not tapped into the power of this thing. I kind of like pressed all these buttons to see what it is. In fact, actually, this is different. I never, what is this?
I
So,
New
right?
function.
Like it suggested I do something. So one was a mind map and it created a mind map for me. And I was like, oh, this is cool. But I got it wrong because people process, it was technology. That was what was right. Although when I dug into offer monetization as a cornerstone, I wasn't mad because, oh, interesting. See, I didn't expect that. But I wasn't mad because this is what a lot of companies were talking about at TSIA was the fact that service-based businesses, the cost of ownership is increasing, the demands of customers are increasing. Like we've heard this time and time again, but how do service-based businesses generate more revenue? And yeah, okay, hold on, I zoomed in way too much. Oh, there, in real life, yeah, that's cool. So I left it, right? Because I was like, okay, yes, that's not accurate, but I'm okay with your hallucination because it's actually it's pretty on point with what's going on in the real world. So was it a hallucination or was it just maybe you should think about this as a cornerstone as opposed to the technology.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. I think NotebookLM, I've used it a bit as well, and it works for me.
Okay.
But I found in a similar vein, if you can drop all of this information in either the projects for OpenAI,
Yep.
so that's one, or the Anthropic projects
Okay.
is another one that like a lot of people said are like super useful. And what you can say in those ones is, please be this person, and then talk to me as if you're the marketing director and I want your advice. So you just drop all of the data in there, and then it will spit back as if they were the marketing director, and they'll give you advice. So
Mm.
that's pretty cool. This is cool. I've tried the voice
Yeah.
discussion.
Uh-huh.
So that's interesting. It will create like a talking heads kind of thing for you,
Yeah,
like to
that's
listen to
cool.
later. Yeah.
Okay. The notes, like the fact that I'm able to save to note was interesting because there are some outputs that I really like in GPT. I'm like, oh, I want to keep this, copy it, paste it, or turn it into a Google Doc and then save it into my drive. But this one, it saves it as its own note. And that way I can always save it. And I don't know if it's referring to it. I feel like it's just a standalone node and it doesn't add to the chat. Does the chat reference what's in the studio notes? Do you know?
So the extra context you're talking about,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure, but that's key because that gives context and memory, which
Yeah.
is which was something that was added to the OpenAI version. So like they added complete memory. So through your entire notes,
Yes.
it's like
Exactly.
it compiles that and gives like a great piece of knowledge. I'm not totally sure about this one. I think we got to look into it.
Okay.
And I think all of the different platforms are advancing very quick.
Yeah. That is a for sure.
Yeah.
One thing that I really enjoyed about it was like this was the source and it's referencing the source. So I did enjoy that about this because like transparency and validating especially any kind of quotes that's being referenced. I want to know where that came from.
Yeah.
And what I liked was I wanted it to be as if I was reporting to my CEO, who is me, right? Like for Tinker Time, how does the learnings that we gleaned from TSIA, how does that impact Tinker Time? And what should our key focus area, how should we refocus our offering or what should we change in our organization right away? And I thought that was cool. But the challenge, so I got squirreled a bit. Yeah, and AI dog fooding. This was like, I want to make it so that Tinker Time Labs is eating its own dog food kind of experience. How we're using TSIA intelligence to provide rapid data backed insights. Oh, that's cool. TSIA released their own GPT. It's called
Hmm.
TSIA Intelligence, and it has all of their research docs, like basically what I'm doing
Oh,
here,
cool.
but with their years and years across multiple
Oh, wow.
pillars, like incredible offering, and it looks really cool. So it's free for all of their members. I believe it's all of their members and anybody in their organization that has the exact same email domain.
Hmm.
So if that person because I think the way that I don't know how the membership works. I don't know if it's everybody in your email in your organization has access to the research reports, only select people, but they were saying that they wanted to make it more accessible to everybody, basically level the playing field, give everybody access to this information so that your whole organization levels up in their knowledge. Very cool,
Yeah.
compelling offer.
That's like the GPTs, they make a lot of sense if you're a larger organization,
Mhm.
whereas they can serve as like a coach and answer a lot of the questions that,
Exactly.
but that seems like a really great resource.
So now I'm stuck, right? Because my goal was to write a report, like a readout, and I've got a bunch of draft notes, a bunch of like points of view with some synthesized way of like at least digesting all of this content, but I'm still not in a place where I could turn it into a formal presentation. That's where I got stuck.
Mm.
And then I got squirreled on two more things. So can I share what I got squirreled on?
For sure.
So I went back to Lovable and I said, let's just look at the adjustments that I made for Assessify. Um, During my time at TSIA, one of the questions that I had for myself was, would I be able to leverage the assessment tool? Like when you meet with me, would I show it off and during the conference and would people be interested? And the answer was yes. I walked through some like people with my value maturity model and they gave me immediate feedback. So the immediate feedback was they didn't like the pop-up at the end where I take them through the whole thing. They were just like, just embed the name, email, and company right into the intro page. I thought
Hmm.
that was awesome. So it's just all about access and just simplifying the experience right from the beginning.
Yep.
The other piece is something that we've been knowing from time. It was the, hold on, optional. This was, they liked the idea of this. It's there's a lot of space, but there's also a lot of words. So when they're seeing this, they get why it's scenario based and they get why it's like this, but they did find that it took a long time. Oh, remember you gave me feedback? Here's
Yeah.
my progress bar.
22%. Okay,
Yeah,
that's not bad. 2 out of 9.
22%, 2 out of 9. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's really
so
good.
that's not bad. But I had one that I just took that was a lot more streamlined. When it's on the mobile app, it's nicer, but there's just I don't know, it just doesn't seem like it's totally there. And then the last piece was, I don't know what happened to my scoring, but the scoring fell apart. So you'll see here that I'm still trying to figure it out. Oh, yay. Before it was
It
0.
worked.
And they also didn't like how long the strategic implementation plan was because it was long and it was like generic and it was the same no matter what and it didn't really actually do anything. So have it be shorter and generic is okay, right? Yeah, definitely establish industry leadership position. Okay, cool. Like, but then the how you do that is going to be with conversations with us. So cool way to just get user feedback. So that
Amazing.
was pretty cool. So I cleaned it up a bit. And then the last piece that I wanted to do was I wanted to be able to simplify or not simplify, make the creation process work. Because for a while there, I just had the assessment. So my MVP or my first deliverable I wanted was the test taker experience. Now I want to move into the creator experience. So the process of creating an assessment, business case, business value, creation. This wasn't working before. And it still isn't. I'm stuck on this type thing being a pick list. I
Mhm.
want to be able to type in, like in this case, it's not a field service assessment. It's not a leadership assessment. Right now I want to do a business value creation assessment. I don't know. I'm just going to do it here. And then all I'm asking people to do is do a brief description of the assessment. Find out a way to capture business value with innovation. I don't know. We'll see what it comes up with. The ask is to generate all of this information with
Uh,
AI. So
uh,
if I press generate, feel great. Oh, because I'm supposed to press this button, I got to fix that button.
uh,
So once I generate this, all of the grounding principles, the goals, the capabilities, even the short description, I think, but this section here, I don't know why, what happened. This used to be, anyways, hopefully we'll see this grow. Perfect. Yay, it worked. AI strategy should prioritize the needs, right? So it came up with this idea. So AI is creating your assessment. Now I have to, oh, let's see if I can generate the introduction. Because the time it takes to create an assessment, I found was long.
yeah, you have people waiting around looking at it, and it's like thinking.
Yeah, exactly. And this is even too long, like the assessment introduction. So I got to reformat the way that I've done this. And then now it's going to generate its own questions.
It
So it
could be
should
the
be.
it could
Mhm.
be the models you're using. So if you use a faster, lighter model, it
Okay,
could populate quicker.
let's see what model I'm using. I don't know because it's
Like,
in my here prompt template. I'm using OpenAI assistant data, and I don't know what model it is. I'd have to check my OpenAI, but like,
so for example, if you're using 4.0 mini, then
yeah, yeah.
it will populate quite quickly.
But will it give me, and I don't want it to be too wordy either.
Yeah,
So for, I have seen that mini isn't as verbose, if you will.
yeah.
Okay, okay.
You say, hey, can you just be concise? And then at the same time, its power to analyze is less. Like the new model O3, it takes a minute. Very good analysis, amazing like information, but like you don't have a minute to sit there and like
Exactly.
that's gonna be too much.
That's true. So I now can create an assessment in like minutes. You can edit and make things your own, edit all of this stuff if you want manually. So you can make it shorter, longer, you can make it all manual.
That's
Uh,
really
yeah. And then you can publish the assessment. And then when you publish it, it then falls under the assessment
very cool.
buckets, right? So slowly starting to get there. The output I want to change depending on the type of assessment it is. So really in that type being field service or leadership, I want that to be industry. And then I want the type to be if it's a quiz or if it's a maturity assessment or if it's some sort of like KPI measurement or something like that, because then that will determine and change the outputs that are getting
Mhm.
generated. So, yeah. Anyways, lots like this is
No,
still ongoing. So I got good feedback here.
it looks amazing. Like those things, like for example, even like editing it, like it
Yeah.
seems like it would be easy, but then you're like, oh, I finished it. Oh no, you can't edit it. So you gotta put that functionality back in. So
Yeah,
that's really good.
totally.
Looks really
I'm so glad to be able to edit it and because, yeah, generate it to give me a starting point, but then I'm going to just do the thing that I want to do anyway. Yeah. So that was pretty fun. And then last piece before I hand it over to you, this was the real squirrel. On my way home from San Francisco, I was like, I want a place, a repository to keep track of all of my ideas. And I want it to be like a product requirements document kind of repository holder. And I was like, okay, what is it going to be? and it's like gross. I haven't really figured out how it's going to go through it, but the idea is create a new idea, type your brilliant idea, and okay, hold on. Um, okay, and you can like talk to it. I thought that was an interesting pitch. Okay, so then now I want this idea tracker. So then the idea is you would enrich the details and keep talking through it. And I'm not there yet because you're supposed to then, okay, so for example, this one, it's supposed to in the PRD document from the original note. This was my original note, which is really, I just had a conversation with ChatGPT about my idea and told it, create a PRD for me. And I pasted what ChatGPT created into here. So my goal is to eliminate that process and let this be the tool, right? Let it be a GPT to nurture and create your idea, and then turn it into this PRD document. So extract the project name, extract the vision statement, extract the strategic context, the key jobs to be done, the target users, the core features, the strategic outcomes, any KPIs, go to market strategy. Like the idea is to enrich all of this stuff. And then we can move forward with, oh, is this actually a client? Like things like that. And then we can have like teams talk about it. You can edit the PRD here. Yeah.
It's, yeah, I like it. I think it's a great idea because we have all these thoughts and like where to put them, and then the thoughts get lost.
Yeah.
The I think you should like just continue to work on it, but like the reality is that like yeah, you should just make it for yourself, and then
That's the point. Correct. I'm client zero always.
yeah, yeah,
And then all my ideas, mostly are things that'll make my life easier. And if we find a potential client that would find it valuable, then that increases the, because my idea was I want to have some sort of dashboard that tells me like which ones are the best ones to move forward with, and score the idea based off of strategic fit, easy to build, like these kind of factors, and move an idea along the, like from zero to go to market.
yeah. No, it's cool. So like, I'm thinking the same way as like these kind of little apps.
Mm,
One of the things is, and maybe we can go from here to like the one I'm doing because
yeah.
it does relate. So
Okay.
one of the things with that particular application, I think that, and this is the way my thoughts are going now, is that if we can connect that to a CRM or some other application, then we don't need to recreate that data.
Exactly. Yep.
So instead of building standalone applications, we're building within like just quick, small applications that will do exactly what we want, that you can pull data from the environment, keep it anonymized
Mhm.
in the data that you want. So if you have, what is the name of that CRM that you're using?
Yeah. So I'm playing kind of both tracks. I'm using Salesforce right now. I do have a Salesforce instance because I'm a partner. I've got 2 licenses, so that's enough to run my business. And then I'm using Go High Level as a proof of concept to see if I could do the same thing there. One thing that I have in Salesforce that I still need to develop in Go High Level is the ability to create a service, a scope of work, and a consulting agreement, and then send it out, and then they can sign it. Go High Level has all of that capability in there as part of the platform. I just have to build it and I have to create the workflow and all of that stuff. But I have a rough skeleton already created in Salesforce because I've had it for 6 years. So I've been back in Salesforce land and haven't advanced the go high level part yet, but it sounds and feels like, yeah, go high level could also help here. But I would love all of those two tools to integrate with both platforms if I could.
Yeah, yeah. So that's like the ideal situation. And I'm not
Would
sure.
you
uh
suggest that I do a direct integration with webhooks, or should I just use Zapier, or should I look at N8N? Could that help me? Like, I think I'm in that space right now where I want to start thinking about the connecting the dots piece. What do you think?
Yeah, I think webhooks are it's a little bit more difficult. It's very
Okay.
feasible. Like,
Yeah.
and you can also do something, for example, like in Salesforce, like it's called Connected App, which
Yes,
is
that's true.
which is just moving a little bit of data back and forth. So that's a possibility. The easiest way, so N8N, if they have a dedicated connector, then
Hmm.
that's pretty easy. You can set that
Hmm.
up, and the security may be better.
Hmm.
So I think, but whatever's best and quick.
So here's the other thing too. I'm also still wanting to explore some apps. So I'm willing to open up the box with N8N, see what it's got. If I can't make it happen quick, I'm gonna have to move to the next one. Yeah, maybe some sort of connected app scenario. What exactly do I need? And then just as long as I've got the API connection, make it possible to connect. That's, I think, the next step. And I don't know how to connect to go high level yet. So again, that's the other side because I know how to do it in Salesforce. I just don't know how to do it in go high level. I know this much about connecting with Salesforce.
So again, like I think trying everything, but
Hmm.
not spending too much time. And then there's also beyond N8 and the webhooks, there's a thing called MCP,
Oh, okay.
which is something that was created by Anthropic, and it's a protocol
Mm,
is going super viral and everybody's using it. So
I'm see. Okay, so I joined some GitHub that was talking about it's MCP, and I only joined it because I was like, I have no idea what this is. And so I know what you mean. It is totally going viral. I still don't understand it. Okay. So what is like GitHub I have? I don't know, but I had to turn off the notifications because I was getting notifications for every single post and people are pulling it down. They're reporting bugs, and that community in GitHub is very active. I don't know if you've seen it.
yeah, no, so the MCP servers, and then you connect the server to something like Cursor or
Hmm.
like Lovable or like
Mm,
all of these connect within. And then what you can do is say, hey, I'm going to search LinkedIn, or I'm going to connect this to Salesforce, and I want the data from Salesforce to go back and forth by OAuth securely. If I do it with different types of AI APIs, there's danger of security issues, whereas this MCP server
mm.
is like a contained box of those instructions that are open source, but very sort of manageable and secure. So
Like that.
it seems like the next thing, I don't completely understand it either, but
Yeah.
it seems like something we gotta know. And
Yeah.
it's N8N is more of like a drag and drop type thing, whereas this is there's a little bit of development. But quickly, on the same topic here, I'll just
Yeah.
go quickly to
Yeah.
my screen. Here.
Here,
I'm
let me
looking
just I'll
at,
paste in the thing that I'm following. Wait, I want to make sure that you all have access to that MCP repository. I'll paste that in the link here so that you have it. Okay, go ahead.
so I'm looking at HubSpot. So like there's a never ending like list of tools that you could use. One thing about HubSpot that I'm liking so far, and I'm doing some of my tracking inside HubSpot for my contacts and then my calendar. So I'm keeping it very simple.
I like it. Yep. Yep.
And like the cool thing about it is you can get up to 1,000 contacts for free. So like they're not gonna ask you to pay more for the amount of 1,000 contacts.
That's great.
So it's good for a startup because
Mhm.
like we don't have that many contacts. It does tracking and it does all these other things, which is really cool. So that's really good. And then on top of that, which is more similar to what we were just talking, so there's contacts and there's other things. Some of them are you have to pay, and
Yeah.
some of them are for free. And then you have a whole developer community. So
Hmm.
I could develop theoretically apps within HubSpot, which would do an example of what you did, Leigh-Anne, in terms of taking the data for the surveys and then pulling it back and forth between HubSpot, which you could do the same thing for Salesforce. The question is, can we make very simple applications that utilize the important information from these CRMs without making it a whole entire application
Okay.
of our own? I've seen other people doing this type of smaller application that fits within a bigger ecosystem.
Yeah, I like that. I've been very much down that track. Like basically since we started, that's pretty much the reason why we started this because we're of that philosophy too. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so they have public apps. So Go High Level also has a marketplace, just like App Exchange for Salesforce. So they have the same thing.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
I've heard, more recently that the App Exchange is being a little bit more thorough in
Oh,
vetting certain apps and putting them on the App Exchange.
okay.
Uh, but
In
I
a way,
mean,
that's good. Like you don't want to put something on the App Exchange that doesn't work. Like that sucks.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So like it's ongoing and like forever changing. The question is how to get a hold of it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Yeah. So
All right.
that's what I wanted to show. It's working for me now. And then if I can connect it to the ACF bridge, then I got to rethink a little bit like how complex do you even need the ACF bridge to be? Well, it connects
Mm,
to Salesforce, it connects to HubSpot, and you just have essential information that you can see. So it's like an interactive PDF.
yeah.
So does it need to be more than that? I'm not totally sure right now.
Yeah, exactly. Not sure yet.
Yeah, yeah.
We've been busy. We've been tinkering. Is there any closing remarks that you want to share?
Well, I'm good. It was just good to do this again.
Oh, yes. And one of the things that I've been realizing is that we've embarked on this journey like how long ago? Was it a month, 2 months, 3 months? Like where are we now?
I think it's been about 2 months.
Oh, that's not bad then. Like it when we first started, we did it because we didn't really have anything else going on at the time. It was pretty quiet. Let's be real, right? Like it's been quiet. Companies were very unsure with what was going on in the geopolitical landscape and what was going on with AI. And people are just so overwhelmed that they just froze. And, their answer was we need to cut roles to free up capital for AI projects and see what we can do with this new technology and see where we can free up more resources. And then they launched some projects and they didn't work, and there goes $2 million, and people are upset. So we're now starting to get a lot of lessons learned, and like it's no longer just hype, we're actually seeing some tangible results, some really great wins, some really big losses. But in the meantime, we're just over here tinkering away, right? Coming up with some ideas. The goal is, to me, I believe, in the times of uncertainty, this is the time where you need to get your hands dirty, right? Keep your hands busy, start tinkering, get into creative space. Don't let anything distract you or overwhelm you. Just one idea at a time, put into or brought to life, and you'll slowly make your way through the chaos. And we're now starting to get real conversations with companies and sharing our insights on what we're seeing with the technology today, and what are the trends with digital engagement and digital transformation, and what can we do in our own industries, and what are we seeing and learning from other industries. We're now starting to see more conversations happening. So for those people out there, there is light at the end of the tunnel. In the meantime, keep yourself busy and don't stop creating.
I totally agree. That's a great ending.
All right, that's it. Enough on my soapbox. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk, and I will see you all next time. Talk to you soon, Micah.
Bye.
Bye.